Hey! Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons. This is Aldrine Guerrero.
Me.
Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. We have Kahai, the legend Ferguson. What's up, Kahai?
What's up?
The trio is here. We are, it's Thursday Live Lessons where you get your questions answered by us. We deliberate. We give you the best answer that we can. And then we move on to the next person that has a question, and then we answer that, and we move on to the next person, we answer that. We answer any and all of your questions, however we get them. We get them via email, we get them via messages, we get them via yoo-hoos on the street and stuff, whatever, however we, yoo-hoo, have a question from the street, like Billy Eichner style. So, we are here. Let's get started. We know how this works, and thank you for those people who are watching this, part of UU Plus. Thank you so much for taking that step to learning the ukulele, like in the best way possible. Thank you so much. For those of you folks listening to us on your podcast, drive carefully. All right, so let's get started. Kai, give us a question.
This is from Will, and this was asked like on a couple live lessons ago in the chat. So he asked, what are the pros and cons of active versus passive pickups? What do you recommend, and what brand do you have in your ukulele?
Okay, we've talked about this before, but great question, by the way. Active and passive pickups, two very, very different actually. Passive pickups require no additional power to power it up, and active usually draws power from some kind of battery, or usually batteries that it draws from. It depends on what kind of battery. Some takes like watch batteries, some take 9 volts, so on and so forth. It just depends on which kind of pickup. So knowing that, it's basically the active pickup is going to be a lot more powerful, a lot louder. But the passive pickup is not going to be as much, but it's going to give you a more natural sound because it's not powered. But both of them are under saddle pickups. So you would put it underneath the saddle, and on the piezo, how do you say it? I say piezo. How do you pronounce that correctly? The piezo, is it piezo?
It's gonna be another Diodario. We were always calling it Diodario.
Dario.
Diodario.
So the piezo goes right underneath here, and it picks up the frequencies and signals that's made by your ukulele. So if you strum your ukulele, that signal goes here to where the saddle is, and underneath that is where the pickups usually go. There are pickups that doesn't have to be underneath the saddle. They have some kind of stick-ons that go on top of your ukulele or underneath, so on and so forth. But those are usually passive pickups. But they're not gonna have the volume the active pickups do, because the active pickup not only draws from the vibration and the signals coming from your strings, but it's also being amplified slightly by the battery. All right, I tend to go for active pickups only because the active pickups will give me that more more power, and I'm not necessarily scared of more power. I think it's really good. I'm very, very, very aggressive when it comes to playing the ukulele, but I'm also very very gentle in some of the songs like Europa, and and some slow songs like Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. I'll play those kind of slow tunes, and I need good tone, regardless if I'm playing like nice and soft and stuff like that. I still want a good tone with it. Passive, sometimes it doesn't cut through enough for me, personally. So I tend to stick with the active pickup. Now on this particular ukulele, this is the Kanilea, they call it Peg Pals pickup. So I've been using that pickup for years. On my new, I got another ukulele that I started using about a month ago, and I went back to my old pickup. That is the Fishman Natural 1. It's no longer being produced. I managed to get a hold of like 4 or 5 of them from the local music shop where our Magic Mike works. And their repairman's like, "Oh, I've got these. You want these?" I was like, "Yes, I'll buy all of them." So I grabbed them, and because I used to use those, and they were great. They sounded awesome in the night.
Does Jake still use them? Because
yes.
didn't he say
he bought the rest from Fishman
stock? Right?
Yeah, so he had back stock. I like the kind of pickup that they have, but it's like 4 individual crystals that go on there, and sometimes all 4 crystals are not quite balanced. So I was having some problem with balance issues. I like the tone, I like the volume, everything that goes along with it, but the balance is really giving me an issue. So
meaning like
Yeah, meaning some of the strings are louder than others. Some are kind of soft and stuff. It's that particular pickup. It can be balanced. Like this one is nice and balanced, this uke, but there are some ukes that I have that are not that balanced, and it's a little finicky. That pickup. So for consistency's sake, I like the natural one because that has given me a nice consistent tone. It can also have balancing issues, but it's not as difficult and not as prominent as the Peg Pals pickup that Kahai has.
Because balancing can come from like the person who installs it too, or not necessarily the person, but like just how they install it.
Right, how they install it and the build and stuff. What causes those issues is because there's 4 crystals that are that are underneath the saddle. So the tension of our strings are all different, right? Because the tension of the strings are different, meaning the amount of pressure that they're pushing down on the saddle are going to be different. And the more the string pushes down, the more pressure on that push there is. That means the more contact it'll have with the pickup underneath it. The more contact means more signal. So some of these are not quite as as tight as the other. For example, my A string and my G string are pretty much the same diameter, whereas the G is just slightly thicker. And because they're pretty much the same diameter, that means they're gonna have similar tension. But since the G is tuned a whole step lower, it's actually looser than the A. So sometimes the G, when it's installed, the G might be a little bit softer than the A is because the A is making more contact with the pickup than the G string is. So what you do is you add more contact to it by like adding like glue or any kind of material, and it's really paper thin because by like the fractions of millimeters, it's already going to cause like all these not problems but differences in the volume and tone of the pickup. And that's why, because it's like fractions of a millimeter, like that's the room for error. I didn't really want to deal with it anymore, and then I switched back to the natural one. They sound good though. Like if it's installed correctly, if there's no problems with with the pickup, it's a great pickup, and I've been using it for years. Maybe a good 5 years I was using that pickup, and for this particular new ukulele that I've had, and I've been meaning to use that new ukulele for a long time, and that's why that one's back there retired now. It's because that one was set up nicely and correctly, but the new pickup the new ukulele that I have was just like kind of wonky. It wasn't working properly, so switched to the natural one. It works all good now. Oh.
Guess we'll go to the closed cam.
We lost signal from one of our cameras. One moment, please. All right, so you guys are gonna see Mavericks. This is from SoCal.
So yeah, someone
from
sent, a T-shirt to us.
a while back. This is a callback. Yeah, Mavericks is a surf spot in, I believe, San Diego. When we went on that San Diego tour to, what was that? Holly Ukulele. It's called Holly Ukulele, right?
Yeah,
Holly Ukulele. Was introduced to us by Craig and Sarah, I believe, or we knew them before Craig and Sarah introduced them to us. But they're cool people. Holly Ukulele, check them out over in San Diego. But anyway, yeah, that's how I like pickups, or that's my little thing on pickups. Yeah. So, Aaron, what pickups do you use?
I actually don't have any pickups in my ukuleles because I don't play them on stage anyway. So I mean that's kind of the thing too, right? If you're not gonna play your ukuleles on stage, if you're never gonna plug them in, then you probably shouldn't install a pickup.
That's true.
If you're not gonna use it, then don't mess with the sound of your ukulele.
Because it will, like, drilling a hole, like trying to install the pickup is gonna change the the sound of your uke. Not by much, and we've covered this before also.
But for my guitars, I use LR bags.
Yeah.
And then somebody in the chat asked.
I can see the chat now.
Yeah,
so I never have the chat in front of me.
So after Aldrine bought the pickups, did he install them himself?
I have installed pickups myself before, but for Kahai, you know what? I have Uncle Joe to do it for me, so why not? Just have somebody professionally do it for you. Back when I had my Kamaka, back when I was playing the Lumanog, back then I used to like install my own pickups and just kind of work on it myself. Some of my Kahai pickups I worked on the balance by myself, and that would fix the balance because I talked it over with Joe. I was like, I don't really want to send it over. I kind of know how to fix the balance, so I'll just try it myself. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. When it didn't, I would have to send it over to Aloha and get it fixed and stuff.
It's all like kind of playing with the saddle, right?
And it's tough because like you set it, and then you have to leave it for like a day or two because the not pressure. Oh yeah, I guess the pressure and the tension will change. Like it's kind of like when you put
strings
when your strings settle in.
Well, like we at the music shop that I worked at, we used like paper shims to kind of like adjust balance and stuff sometimes. And yeah, like the if you put a paper underneath the bridge, it'll squish down, right? And so that just like over time it changes.
Yeah, the paper
like,
itself will whatever material that you use.
Yeah.
So as a shim is gonna kind of compress a little and it'll change. So
one of the things that I learned as like messing with the pickup and messing with the balance is if you want to turn down one, say for example like the C usually is the C because the C has really high tension. The C might be too bright, so in order to turn that down, you take off the saddle and you like make a pencil mark, just a pencil mark, and then you you sand it. No, not necessarily sand, but like I guess sand
it down.
You sand it down with with sandpaper or you can file it down. You can file that down until you can't see the pencil mark anymore. So it's like as thin as a pencil mark. You're not supposed to, because if you don't make a pencil mark and just you're just filing away.
How deep you've gone in different places on the saddle. So
it's a good rule of thumb to kind of if you're interested in doing stuff.
I've heard of like people adding more material by like just using the graphite from a pencil, right? Like or not like. It's not like they take out pencil lead or anything. They just draw like lines on top of the
because it adds just that hair. It's really 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 tough. But one rule is if your ukulele is balanced, when you change your strings, make sure to change them just one at a time. Yeah, because if you take out all your strings, you're relieving all the tension on your saddle. Therefore, you might have to redo it again. And that's actually what happened because I used to use that ukulele. And then I changed the strings, took them all out, and then it was auto whacked again. And then I had to send it back.
Yeah.
So now
so
it's
if
like
you
I learned my
change them
lesson.
one at a time, then you'll keep the tension at least on the other strings.
On the saddle.
Yeah.
Like the saddle, will remain still because if you take this out, that saddle's gonna even if it like moves just like a fraction of a millimeter, it might give you some problems. So it's risky.
The other part of Will's question is like, what do you recommend? And it's kind of hard, right? Because everybody has different needs.
Yeah.
And we don't know what your ukulele is like, right? And so certain ukuleles might respond better to certain pickups rather than others. Yeah. So they're super personal.
I look at the pickup and DIs and things like that as the microphones, for ukuleles, because like your ukulele can sing, sure, and then people will hear it in the room and stuff. But if you want it amplified, you're gonna have to use like a microphone for your voice. It's kind of like a microphone for your ukulele, and there's like Radio Shack microphones, and then there's like the Shure microphones, and there's Sennheiser. Like all they're doing really is making your ukulele sound louder. As far as the characteristics of each sound of a microphone,
if it's clearer,
it's
or
like
more true to
it's gonna be up to the consumer. It's gonna be up to you which one you like better. Obviously, some of the higher priced ones are going to give you a clearer tone and whatever. But if you can't hear the difference, then there's no sense in getting the more expensive one. The only thing that I would say that really makes a difference is if it's an active or a passive pickup. I like this because I'm familiar with the tone. Like I can hear the tone difference, and like I said, with the consistency in the balance, I really like. But some people will claim that like fish, because it's a Fishman natural one, it will have like a quack to it, and it does. But you know what? I just kind of added as part of my tone. Really, like it just becomes part of my playing.
Well, you also use what is it called, the LR bags? Yeah, and then like you said, like with that kind of, you can kind of
contour the
sound a
sound.
little bit, right? Like
because you can there is a setting where you can set the frequency of the high mids. So you can set the frequency that you want, so you can get rid of that quack, and that's kind of what I do.
Yeah. So it's like, it's always hard whenever people are like, "Can you recommend something?" Because it's like, oh, can you just try? Like, just don't buy anything, but like try out a bunch
of different ones
and like
see what you like.
Yeah, that is definitely the best way to do it. Like, it's hard though, like with people living in like remote areas, right? Maybe they can't exactly like try out stuff at music stores, but that definitely is the best way to do that.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to, then you really should.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. As far as brands and stuff, if you want, names and suggestions for brands, Fishman, LR bags, Peg Pals, the Kanilea one. I've had experiences with My Sai. Some people like My Sai. Let's see. It's pretty much it. Like those are like really standard like names and pickups and stuff. LR bags, Fishman, My Sai, Peg Pals.
And then K&K for like the passive. Yeah.
I think Alan, right? He uses, or he had a K&K. I don't know if he still has. I think Alan is in the chat, so maybe you can say. But and I think he was like, he said he liked it. He installed it and he really liked the sound. So
I remember back then Larry's music, had these like pickups. It was passive. And it was the kind that you would stick on, like to your ukulele.
Oh,
Dean
like Markley makes.
Really? That makes that? But I remember buying it, and it just had a picture of like a hula dancer, and it says Hawaiian ukulele 4-string pickup or whatever, like and passive pickup.
It has like a little tacky thing.
Yeah,
and you just kind of stick it to the soundboard. Yeah.
And I used to use that. I remember playing at Kukui Grove and like in jamming. I think it was I was jamming Wipeout, and like the thing fell out.
Oh,
and I'm like,
just like unstuck itself.
Let's go to the drum solo. And then I went, and I was like, Ma, you have tape, and for some reason she had tape in her bag, and I just put it on, and I just taped the crap out of my ukulele. Stay still. So there's like this pictures of like I was performing at Hawaii Music Club for Kauai High School. And there's a picture, like a group picture of us going like this, and it's like tape all over, like my ukulele, like taping that thing on. So didn't want that again. So maybe that's subconsciously it's like no passive.
So Alan just said that he does have a K&K pickup, and he said I'm happy with it. Output is strong and well balanced. I've heard installation is very important to the end result. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so he also talks about the body sound being noticeable, and that's what I don't. Yeah,
touch your ukulele and or like rub it or something, it'll kind of pick up that sound. Yeah,
because I'm when I perform and stuff, like we do a lot of I do a lot of movements and whatever, and if I'm going like this to to do tapping or something with my with my ukulele, I don't want the audience to hear my arm going from here to here. You see it, like you can kind of hear.
Yeah, but the passive picks it up.
Yeah, the passive picks it up, whereas the active does not pick that up.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't really like passive too much. So I've had bad experiences in the past because of my pickup coming out, but that's the pickup's fault. It's not really.
Yeah, and then it seems like the K&K that Alan has installed is like under saddle too. Is installed so he wouldn't have that problem anyway. Right. But and then some people like those body noises too because they do whatever
golpes or whatever.
Yeah, other kind of percussive techniques, and they want that to pick up. So that's kind of like what you have to keep in mind when you're choosing a pickup as well.
I watched this video with guys talking about electric guitar pickups, like passive versus what is it? Passive versus active. I don't know why I forgot the word active for a second there. But they said that that like the active kind of just like rounds out the tone, like where it makes everything pretty even, right? And that's where it's like nice. You don't have to worry about like something being hotter than the rest or like, or the lows being hotter or the highs being hotter. It just like makes it everything even. But at the same time, like the passive pickups, at least for electric guitars, have like certain tones where you can kind of find a good passive that you like that like amplifies whatever range that you want, right? So you can add more character that way.
Yeah. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. There's really no like, oh, this is like active is better than passive or passive is better than active and stuff. It really just depends on what you're into. Same thing with the brands and stuff. Like some people like Shure mics, some people like Sennheisers, some people like AKGs. It's just going to be, you know, different for everyone, and it's just whatever floats your boat kind of thing. I know it's not as convenient as microphones where you're just like, oh, let me try this one real quick, you know, let me sing into this, where like you have to install it first.
Yeah.
You know, because it might sound good on another ukulele, but then once it installs in your ukulele, it might sound different. So it's not, you know, it's not ideal when trying out pickups and stuff. So you kind of just have to like do as much research on one and then like really commit to that one that you buy.
Yeah.
Or try and get like, or try out ukuleles with pickups installed that are similar to what you already have, right? If you plan to install one later on. So like that will probably give you the closest result, but again, it might be, there's so many different,
it's wood, you know? Like it's
so many different, chances of it being different, right? So, yeah, I think, that's pretty much it for the questions.
Okay, cool. So it's been 2 weeks since our challenge, and our challenge songs are due today, apparently, and I did not know that. Okay, so, all right, before, in my defense, my kid turned 1 this weekend, and the whole week, I've just been so stressed out with like putting together this like first birthday party. Here in Hawaii, first birthdays are like a big thing. Like it's, some people like go all out with like the big 50-foot tents with like the slip and slides and stuff. I'm like, ain't no way I want to put a party like that. So I had like 50 of my friends, and even then, at like that small scale, it was so stressful.
50 people, that's still a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know. Yeah, anyway, so I was preoccupied
not 500
with that.
people.
Not 500 people, yeah.
Still a lot of people.
I used to, when I used to live at in Wailua, across the street, I'd see all the time, like all these inflatables and stuff.
The park,
like, that's so crazy. Like, how much money you're spending, and this kid is not even gonna remember that. Like,
they buy
exactly. Like, it's more for you than anything.
They buy like water slides and everything for the kids, right? And like the kid can't even go down the water slide themselves.
They're doing it for the gram, man. It's what they're doing it for Instagram. Like, there's a Bob's Burgers episode where like there's like a birthday party for this kid, and the theme was like The Great Gatsby. It's like, it's obviously it's not for the kid, to do it for the grab. So anyway, I came into the office, and then I was like, "Oh, you guys got your songs." I'm like, "Oh my god, my song!" That was at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
I wrote something in the 2 hours before the 1 p.m. Cutoff time. So here's what I got. You know, here's what I could come up with in the 2 hours. I'd say it's not that shabby. I actually didn't need to explain myself. I could have just probably went like, yeah, I wrote this last month.
Wow.
Wrote it before we even knew.
That sounds so thoughtful.
Constraints of the content.
All right, here we go. So the rules were, you know, for this challenge, we had to play, we had to have the chords D minor, E minor, G, and F.
A minor.
A minor, sorry, G and A minor. So, those are the chords that were required. Bonuses were augmented chords. Another bonus was 3/4 time or 6/8 time. Was there any other bonuses that we had?
Lyrics.
Also lyrics. Always bonus. I have no lyrics for mine, you know. I barely got it in there. I barely got the actual song in there. So here we go. I was trying to think of a Monster Hunter song. I was gonna write a Monster Hunter song, like with lyrics and stuff. I couldn't come up with it. But this is a Monster Hunter song anyway. It's an instrumental that I am going to call now as Elder Recess. Here we go. That's what it was. So hey, 2 hours, not too shabby. So to explain my tune,
is it elder recess and then in like what is it, like parentheses, not too shabby?
Not too shabby.
That's the title of the song.
Subtitle.
So I love me some good tension in the notes and stuff. So given that one of the chords were A minor, I wanted to really keep it minor. I could have gone the route where I could have taken C because it's in the key of C, but I went to the A minor here. And how do I give attention to that A minor chord? I'm gonna hit this B note here on the 7th fret. So if I hit this B note and like let you guys hear it, so these two notes.
That's a B against A, right?
Yeah, B and C.
Oh, B and C.
Yeah, B and C together. So, but when you play it, separately, so it sounds like.
Oh yes, like a ascending. Kind
right,
of
ascending.
line.
From the A to so 0 to 3 kind of fret. Mm-hmm. But what I did was I let the B ring out and then hit the C. So there's like an underlying like B note, but you're ascending so that the ear wants to hear you go up, but at the same time like it still hears, it keeps the tension from the B. So I wanted to go up and then back down to where it began. Then to the G, to the E minor. So back. And then I needed an F in there, so I had an F. So F, back to the E minor, D minor, up, back to A minor. Then I wanted to do a quick I really like that tension, so I kept doing that tension over and over again. Now this time with a minor chord, just like the first one, and then now a major chord. So F.
Yeah.
And I went from A minor
right
to F.
here you changed it to 3/4 time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So I hit this E note, then to the C, then to that A minor. I was thinking kind of using that minor or that harmonic in there as well when I did that's what I was thinking of about doing, but I'm like, no, I need an F in there. Like
That's how you changed it to.
yeah, I changed it to this F because I was thinking I guess I could still say it was F, but I still hit that A minor, but it wouldn't be fair. So I'm like, So that's my song, Elder Recess. 2 hours, baby! Hey, thank you. Who wants to go next? I want to go because I'm like, this is going to be the lamest.
Whatever.
Alright.
Whatever.
Jong and Po.
You are...
Beaver first.
Sure.
Jong and Po, Beaver first. Go.
Cool.
Oh.
I think I won last time, right?
You as the winner gets to decide. If
Gets to
Kahai goes
decide.
first
It's the
or
same
second.
thing.
No, but it's up to you
It's the
now.
same. I'll let Kahai go if he's ready.
Okay. I gotta pull up my computer. I did it again on my computer.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. So I think I'll just play it.
Poogie is satisfied.
Yeah. I'll just play it and then I'll explain it afterwards.
Okay.
Though I kind of.
Yeah, I wanted to write a Monster Hunter Christmas song, so on what I wanted to do, but
yeah, that's what. So so we actually got a couple entries in the UU Plus forum.
Yeah,
and they were both awesome.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
awesome stuff.
So Mark did he actually changed the key.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he went G.
Yeah, so so he was trying to write in the key of C using the chords that we kind of specified, but then
he changed like a D minor to a D.
Yeah.
Or a D7, which kind of like
makes it into the key of G basically. Yeah.
But it's like I told Mark I responded to Mark. I said, you changed the key, but then you also made it in 3/4, so I think we can overlook it. Like
So
one cancels out the other.
Yeah.
He did like it was kind of like a duet, right?
Yeah,
His
and
wife
and like finger picking and stuff.
Yeah, in 3/4, and it was very like video game inspired.
Oh, cool.
It was
Cool. So what you could do like in the future is use those substitutions that Mike was talking about, because it's D minor. So you're still hitting all the points where like you're hitting all the chords that we wanted you to play. So if you're playing G, but instead of hitting the D, you can do a D minor, like substitute a D minor.
I think
a minor substitute for major.
Yeah. Or if you played the minor and then went to the 7, then it would have still kind of been in the key of C.
Yeah, but totally fine. Awesome.
Yes.
I heard the song. It was really good.
Yeah, so I told him like I preferred that he used the D instead of D minor.
Yeah.
Because with the D, the song does sound like kind of like floaty and happy, and with the D minor, it would have just ended with like a very kind of like a downer, right?
And that's kind of how it is with songwriting too. It's like when the song is coming out, it's just whatever you
don't
hear
want to
in
stop
your head. Yeah,
just stop the train.
Just has to go. Yeah.
But so in the future, because one of my favorite songs in G that incorporates that is actually the song that I sang with my wife, "Tonight You Belong to Me." It's in G. About I know never belong to, and that's kind of like a way to get to the C is what he's using that D minor for. So it's a nice substitution there. Instead of a D major going to the minor, going to the C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kai. Yeah. It's like Mega Man. I love it. You are after my own heart, sir.
So the reason why I did that was because on the last song challenge, or the last time we had song challenge on Thursday Live, I think it was Mark in the chat, and he was like, "Oh, pop punk," and I was like,
"So you were?
I'll do a pop punk song. I'll do that."
Harder towards it,
and then like I started writing it, and I just knew like I don't really write lyrics, or I don't do that. So like, what am I gonna do? And there's a band called Anamanaguchi where they do like chiptune, and they use like Game Boys and Super Nintendos to play music, and then they play guitar with it. So I kind of thought like, oh, I'll do the same thing.
Like yeah. Because as soon as like the electric guitar came in, I'm like, oh snap!
Yeah.
It's great, awesome, man, good job.
Nice.
Hey, tell us about the the song and stuff. Any kind of structure stuff?
I had a hard time with it because I wanted to keep it like, so the first thing that I wrote,
we lost
again.
Signal again.
Okay.
We're here. You can hear us, right? All good. Here's my uke, for example. Look how nice. Look here. Don't look at don't look at the other thing. Look here. The uke. So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Distraction.
Sorry.
Look over here.
Smoke screen.
Smoke screen. All good. Oh.
Let's see.
So yeah. Oh, look at it. Look at these tuners. What about these tuners? Aaron, did you see these tuners? They're great. They're Kanilea tuners. Yeah.
They're
got him.
back again.
Okay.
See, it's like it never even happened.
Yeah.
All right,
Magicians with a distraction.
So the
I just want a gif of that. See me doing this.
Yeah, the first thing I wrote for that is just that, like, it's a C, G, F. So it's like, or a quick change to, like, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, actually my plan was to do that, like, twice. And that's very reminiscent of a Anamanaguchi song called Airbrushed, if people look that up. But then I wrote this part, like... So I kind of combined the two of those, and then, like, I got some of my chords in there, right? And then that's like where it's like, I need to add more chords, so better write a bridge part.
Yeah, the bridge part with the with the what is it? What is that? Arpeggios.
Yeah.
The arpeggios are super cool in that.
Yeah, it's actually like so that the arpeggios, I didn't initially have it in there, and I just did that like last night.
I'm glad you added in there. That's the part that kind of popped. Like, oh my god, it's coming at me in my face.
And when I wrote it last night, I did it on a synth, and so it's like an arpeggio on a synth, and it ascends up, right? It's just that chord, the F chord, and it ascends up. But then, like, I found a guy who makes a plugin that's all Game Boy sounds.
Oh, cool.
So I had to bring that in. Like, it was like late at night, and I found this, and I was like, dang it, yeah, I gotta use this too.
So you should have been like me and just enrolled it like a week ago.
I should. But if you listen to it in, like, with headphones too, like, this is a detail that I'm sure, like, nobody cares about, right? The synth is playing in one side, like your left, and then the Game Boy sounds are playing in your right.
Cool.
And then as they ascend, they cross over, so they end on the opposite side.
Oh, cool! Some like panning stuff.
Yeah,
nice.
Like, and that's just like something that I was like, oh, this is
thought that it would be.
This is cool, but nobody's gonna notice this.
It's like the two characters in the video games, like, you know, like doing this. Like, I'm going through you. It's awesome. Hey, one more round of applause. All right, Aaron.
Okay.
Save the best for last.
No. So yeah, I wrote like a Christmas song. So I kind of had the idea of writing a Christmas song, for this, but yeah, this is kind of what came out. It's like a sad Christmas song.
Okay.
So yeah,
wearing his heart on his sleeve, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see if I got it. Yeah.
I don't want to look at the lyrics. I want to be like, you know.
Making my way through the winter air is just a little harder when you're not here to light my way. I know you couldn't stay. As I gather all the presents beneath the tree, I'm searching all around for the envelope I hope to leave for me. But I know it couldn't be, because I tried to be snow starts to fall, the memories of you float into my mind around Christmas time. Seeing all the lights on these city streets, I look about the town and I wonder how Christmas is gonna be without you here with me. Because I try to be strong, and in the future plan I will stand on my own. But for now I realize I don't know how to be without you around Christmas time. Around Christmas time, I lose it all as soon as the snow starts to fall. The memories of you float into my mind around Christmas time.
Hey. Nice. It is sad.
It is sad. Yeah.
It's a
And
sad
then like
song.
I kind of
I don't want to see a sad air.
I don't and so yeah, like kind of talking about that where like you know whatever comes out is what comes out. So like I didn't really know how to write the song because I hardly write in the key of C because it's either too low for me or too high. So even that like
Yeah,
that,
with the chorus.
the chorus was like a
Ooh.
stretch for my voice. But like I knew that it had to go there, you know, because because the verse was so low, the chorus kind of had to go high. But like yeah, so it's written for a better singer than me.
That was great, though.
But yeah,
That was awesome. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
so,
tell us about some of the
yeah,
structural stuff.
so I was thinking about because I was thinking Christmas, I was thinking kind of like that. In my head, I had like those tubular bells. And so the tubular bells are usually tuned to the scale, right? So like I just thought like that descending, that's like right, like you know it's like obvious.
Joy to the world.
Yeah. So it's kind of like so I just did that where I held the C chord, but then I did that descending. You know those are those notes. And then I kind of wanted to incorporate the 3/4 time, so that's why it sounds, you know, with that it's like a 6/8, but yeah. So that's what I was thinking with that. So I kind of ended up starting with that. That was like where I started my thought process. And then a while back, Kahai showed me a video on YouTube. Is like that Vox video about what like the secret chord that makes songs Christmassy.
Yeah.
And so like yeah, so if you look up that video, they kind of deconstruct like some classic Christmas songs, and there's a chord in there that they describe as like melty.
Or it's like they kind of in the video they say it's like, oh, it's this specific chord.
Yeah.
But what they really mean is like it's that chord voicing kind of, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And as part of a progression. So I pretty much just stole that because
might as well.
because I wanted to write a Christmas song, and like you know that's like
this
kind
is
of
a proven formula.
Yeah. And that's kind of what when you're thinking about writing songs too. You don't have to think too hard if you're not trying to write a masterpiece, right? Yeah. So I went with that. So it goes C, you know, that descending C to like a D minor, D minor 7, and then it goes to that D minor 7 flat 5, and that's the chord,
secret chord,
the secret chord that they say.
Yeah,
so you could kind of do like C, and then during the chorus too, I go to an F instead of the D minor 7. So I go, and then to the E minor, to the D minor, to the F, and then still using that same chord, D minor 7 flat 5. That's like that feels like Christmas already.
Melty.
Yeah. So from that basis, I came up with a chorus first. And I was thinking like at the time oh, maybe I could think back to like like a previous girlfriend and like the first Christmas that that we were not together anymore.
How many girlfriends?
Like,
this year. This year. How many have you had this year?
We don't have the time, Aldrine. It's too much.
Yeah,
There's not enough numbers in the world, guy.
No.
So I was thinking about that, but then like that emotion wasn't strong enough for me. Like I was thinking about trying to remember what I felt like then, and the emotion wasn't like coming in clear for me. So I didn't feel like I could really write about it. And so and so I started thinking about my grandma who passed away this year. And so now and then after that all of the verses came out easily. And that's kind of when you talk about songwriting, you got to go to an uncomfortable place and then like figure out what, and if it comes out easily, that means that you're in the right place, so that's kind of what it happened. And Kahai and Kahai's grandma also passed away this past year too, and so like we were kind of talking about like grandma memories and stuff like that, and so there are lyrics in there that really like kind of harken back to like our memories of our grandmas. And so that's why there's one about like searching underneath the tree for the envelope, because that just reminds you of your
here's like some money for Christmas money or whatever.
And so that's I don't know.
I never realized that my envelopes would disappear if my grandma went.
It's like it's never gonna happen again.
Santa must know, right?
Santa must know.
Like, oh, this person doesn't have a grandma, no envelope for them.
I need to pick up Kingdom Hearts. I was relying on that grandma buddy.
So that was kind of like my process of writing this one.
So like it started off like for a girl. And
I was thinking it as like a romantic song, but then I don't know, it just flowed easier when you tap into like a feeling that's just in you,
or you're more connected with, right? I think like it's always funny when you like look at songs and their meanings, right? And there's so many songs where people are like, oh, of course it's about like romantic feelings or whatever. And then like the one that I know is like human nature, right? And there's that line is like, why just tell them that it's human nature? And the guy who wrote it, he said that his daughter got hurt at school and she came up to him and she was like, Dad, why did the kid hit me? And he's like, oh, it's human nature. Like kids are just gonna be
kids.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily like somebody like, breaking your heart and you're just like, oh, it's human nature. That's kind of the way that people take it.
My favorite example of that is Closing Time.
Oh yeah.
His daughter like being born or something.
It's about his daughter being born. There's like a video of it where he explains it, and everybody thinks it's like about a bar, right? Like Closing Time at a bar. But like if you actually like look at the lyrics, it's like, oh, that totally makes sense now.
Well, we were talking about like that other song, right? About the Planet Poetry, right? And then
recently, there's a who is it?
Ho'onua did that.
Ho'onua, so there's like a local song here in Hawaii that came out when we were like in high school, and it's a song called "Plant Me a Koa-tree" or Koa-tree. And so I always just thought it was about a koa tree, and
took it at face value.
and then recently I heard it in like I was in Foodland and they had it playing on the speakers in the grocery store. And then I realized that it's about Brother Is. Like they wrote it about Brother Is because he has like a quote. It's if you watch the music video for White Sandy Beach, he talks about like, oh, when I die, don't cry for me, just plant a big koa tree and then remember me. And so that's what they were talking about in the song.
I'm gonna steal that quote. Just buy a copy of Monster Hunter and just enjoy.
Aldrine Guerrero original quote.
But yeah, that's kind of what's cool about songs too, is because like everybody listening to it kind of like takes their own meaning for it anyway. So it actually doesn't even really matter why you wrote it. It just like becomes like a thing that everybody can relate to. So
I think it's
beautiful, man.
I think it's pretty cool that like both times that we've had this challenge, like you and Daniel have written like lyrics.
Yeah.
And you both like Daniel wrote like a kind of like a funny song, right? About like Christmas. Song, but then you also wrote a Christmas song. So it's like
the opposite of funny. There's nothing funny about that.
Sad.
It's super sad.
But you guys are in tune at least like somewhat, right? Or something
something about
Yeah. We gotta like the next time like you guys both write songs, we'll see if it lines up again. Test the hypothesis, right?
Master songwriters. Like, have you checked out any of his other songs? Daniel. Yeah. He actually writes some pretty like nerdy, dorky kind of songs. It's really cool.
Fun stuff. Yeah.
Because I follow him on Twitter, and like sometimes he posts it on Twitter, like, I wrote this like new song or something. Check that out. Like,
I gotta follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, the download. Like, just give him one view. It was really good. So good job.
Yeah.
But so good job, everyone. Hey, claps all around. Everyone did great, including myself. Working so hard on it.
Worked the hardest out of everybody.
So let's set up a new challenge. So by the way, you two will be we'll do a drawing. We'll do a drawing next week for a prize. I'll bring a prize in next week. So we have two, right? Two. Yep. Okay. So for those two. I'll bring a prize in, random, like gonna be a random prize. I don't know what it is yet. I'll bring something in next week, and we'll do a draw for who gets that random prize. It'll be awesome. Random prize is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna make a Christmas theme. I'm gonna have a Christmas themed prize next week Thursday. So look forward to that. So let's set up a new challenge. So what key?
I don't know. Or like actually,
I was in the chat.
Actually, me and Aaron were talking about like maybe we can do a challenge where it's a specific. You have to use a specific chord progression, but it can be in any key, right? Like, and then you can use that just so like
instead of a key, we'll choose just a progression.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
it
you
has to be in that order.
Yeah, and it has to, or like, and it'll just be like that, whatever that little bit, and then the rest of the song can do
other things, but
around it. Yeah,
but it has to have that.
Include that
at least
part
once.
Okay, let's go with the 2-5-1. Very
2-5-1.
2-5-1. Let's have a 2-5-1. You need to have a 2-5-1 in your song somewhere.
So like an example of a 2-5-1 would be like
E minor, E7, A. Just think Sunday morning. So like that kind of. I'm here, I'm heading home, and now I'm home.
Okay.
That kind of. So 2-5-1, whatever key you want to do, and you can have anything else after the 2-5-1, but you have to have a 2-5-1 somewhere in the song, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, have a 2-5-1 somewhere in the song. Any bonuses, lyrics, as usual.
Yeah,
that takes twice the time, as I found out, to do in songs. Okay, lyrics. What else?
We did diminish and augmented chords. Do we want like another chord addition?
Or did anybody add that?
The augmented chord?
Augmented.
I
don't remember.
Yeah,
I know
you did. Yeah. You had the flat 5 instead. I did not.
Yeah, I don't think.
I had no time to be creative.
Yeah.
Nobody did augmented, so we could throw that in.
Okay. Let's keep the augmented. Let's do an augmented. And let's see. Let's give a real challenge, Kahai.
For a bonus?
A bonus. 5-4 times.
I was gonna say that.
How about?
Nobody's gonna do it.
I did it in 3-4, and then 1 is halftime. 1 measure is halftime. So technically.
How about this? How about 4-4, but there's 1 measure of 2-4?
If you want like a bonus.
A bonus of like
hey
ya. Yeah, hey ya. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Hey ya. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1 measure of 2-4 somewhere. Augmented 4-4 with 1 measure of 2-4. somewhere in the song. It doesn't matter, and you can only if you want to just do it one time, totally fine. Another example is Purple Rain. Purple Rain has a 2/4 measure in there, and then it goes to
kind of like a pickup.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then the second verse has a 2/4 in there.
Oh, okay.
So that's a nice little challenge. So 2-5-1, whatever key that you want. It's an open challenge this week, and that sounds great.
Well, every time we do like bonuses, right? I just like, okay, nope. Just get the main part done. Get that part. Like
we should have at the end of the year, like put up like the top 10 or whatever, and everybody can like vote on which one is like the best one. They get the belt for that year. the championship belts. Songwriting champion.
I was gonna say too, I think if people want to do the past challenges too, do that and submit it, and it like we'll just leave it open in the forum, so it's not like you can't do that ever, right? Like, and we want to see it. Like, I think I don't know if this is a joke, but Yoda said I have parts of a song, it did not have a full complete beginning, middle, and end. So, but like, if maybe it's like the 2 weeks, it's like, I just couldn't finish it in time, like, I know I was talking to Alan, and Alan is like busy getting ready for Christmas gigs, so he couldn't do the song challenge either. So if you guys like just want to try, later, we'd love to see it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another question. If there's going to be a live lesson on the 27th, I'll be here. Are you going to be here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
as long as we're all here, I think we can do one.
27th Thursday. So Christmas is on Tuesday.
Yeah. 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Eve is the 24th.
Yeah.
So like the only thing that we have canceled, right? Like from our schedule is that there's private lessons. There would have been private lessons on
24th.
Yeah.
And the 31st. So but there's still private lessons on the 28th and the 4th.
Yeah. So just Christmas Eve and then
Eve and
New Year's Eve. Yeah.
So that's all. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Live Lesson Thursdays. If you are listening to us via podcast, thank you so much. If you guys want to download this via podcast, check out your favorite podcast provider. May it be iTunes, Podcasts, the podcast app, and there's also Stitcher, there's Podcast One, all kinds of stuff that you guys can use to download this awesome podcast. Also, thank you folks so much for signing up for UU Plus and watching the live lesson watching me like lean on Aaron Nakamura in the first part of this show,
watching our cameras cut out.
Yeah, our cameras cut off. Thank you so much for that. It's some premium content that you're paying for. So that's a real,
thank you.
Just premium content, just the top.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this duct tape boat.
Top shelf stuff, really top shelf content from Ukulele. Now, thank you guys so much. It's been fun. We always have fun here on Live Lesson Thursdays. We always have fun on all our live streams, be Songs Made Easy or the jams and stuff. We always have fun. So thank you so much for tuning in. Stick around for Songs Made Easy. We are doing Mele Kaliki Maka today, so have fun. I'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. Aloha.